GG! The Mouthful Podcast is brought to you by GoodGame.rock, the most welcoming gaming community on Facebook. Visit us at www.goodgame.rocks.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
But you know, poor body.
Making pancakes.
Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and that is David, aka Dream Twister, and with me is Tony, aka Dark.
What is up?
Oh, snap. And this is the real episode 307 of GG's The Mouthful Podcast.
GG! I'm not gonna be able to compete with that. So
It's all good. Sounds wonderful all around. Welcome back, everyone. It's good to have Dark back. Obviously, it's good to have Mr. Dreamy here as well. And this is take 7, I believe,
Yes.
of our attempt to get this podcast going. Through the
virtual podcasts are
I
fun.
I know it's fun. Is I'm not sure if that's the word I'd use to describe it, but anyway, we did make it, and of course we did, because nothing stops the signal.
That's right. TM.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Trademarked. So yeah, we're just gonna get rolling into it. If this is your first time listening, first off, of course, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. That takes you right to our Facebook group. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. On this wonderful episode, what we're going to do today is first we're going to go into what we have been up to, move on into various news items, and of course, we finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic: gaming time savers. Yes. How do you get into a game, and what can you do to save time and get you to the end game faster? And this, of course, could apply to so many different games. I mean, at this point, GT7 is trying desperately for you not to get to the end game, so you can get all the cars and all that good stuff. But yeah, so that's what our topic's going to be. Sir, I'm going to throw it to David real quick, just to kind of give us a little more on the hot topic, because this was kind of your idea.
Well, yeah. We have all been playing Elden Rings, and we're realizing, man, this game is goddamn long. Actually, it turns out it is more game than any of us anticipated, and it got me thinking into, like, the good time savers, where there's someone discover a shortcut, or there's a more efficient way to go about your build or whatever, and then how there are bad time server, which is people taking advantage of exploits, or even worse, companies
transactions
selling you the time savers, and the coin doublers and shit like that, and how that kind of relates to what we ultimately do, which is play games. If we play games and we feel like they're just wasting our time, then why are we playing? So that's basically where I envision the topic going. But of course, this is gonna take us into a wild ride, because there's so many time savers.
Time rapes, yes, I know. Those are
Yeah,
Time ravers.
definitely feel like the time is being raped in a certain way. I mean,
Time raids, yes.
but I guess Elden Ring time rape is good. It's a good rape. You know what? Discuss that. I'm not gonna do any rape. But then again, you fucked us all with that one, G.
I did not say.
It sounded that way.
I said raid.
Rapers, yeah.
And shame on you.
Cochino.
Shame on your boat for making fun of my accent. That's how we're gonna go.
Not at all. We love the
Puerto
accent.
Rican, just like you, brother. How you gonna say that?
Because you don't have an accent.
Man, I have that ghetto accent. Man. That New
I know.
York.
We're
There's an
trying to
accent.
restrain you. We're trying to restrain you so that
All
our
the girls
podcast
like your accent.
is.
I want to hear that. They go crazy for the Spanish sounding version
Oh,
of a Puerto Rican.
no,
Okay?
no doubt, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, with the mustache. With the mustache.
Yes.
But
What would you,
it's
would you call
very
the dude? Papo what? Papo Loco?
Papo Swing.
Papo Swing.
I got my profile picture changed for profile of Papo Swing. If you guys know who Papo Swing is, high fives to the two of you that might actually be Puerto Ricans and B be old enough to remember.
that must be like way before my time.
Oh, that was way before your time.
I was literally going to
I've
ask.
seen the
Yeah.
character recently. I've seen the character recently, and it's like, holy shit! It almost looks the same as he was portrayed like 20 years ago. It's kind of crazy.
Jesus.
Papo Swing.
Papo Swing.
There's a
Papo
blast
Swing.
from
I
the
gotta
past
Google that.
for anyone out in PR.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, with that, let's go ahead and roll into what we have been up to. Today, we're going to go ahead and start with Mr. Dark. Sir, what have
is
you
up?
been doing?
Well, the usual, same as you two, bro. You know, every week.
Kill some
on the
trees.
Elden Ring stream, man. It's a dude. Man, it feels like every podcast you're coming back to the same thing. That just tells you how special this game is. For a month and a half now, we have all been so invested into Elden Ring, and I was discussing with Mad Dog here, like this is what made it so special. It was like a blend of everything we wanted for so long. There's just we just got stuck here. So apart from that, I do get away from it every now and then to practice on Dragon Ball FighterZ. You have seen me on Dragon Ball here and there, but man, it feels like it's dragging. I just want to go back to Elden so bad. Keep leveling up, keep trying different builds, different things. Still finding new things. When I see you or Dream, I look at your share plays, I'm like, what is that? What is that? It's like, oh yeah, you know, there's a hole through here. So my week has been spent playing Elden, practicing Dragon Ball, and repeat for the past 3 weeks. It's been amazing. I still want to go back to Elden.
Don't worry, we're gonna handle that. We're gonna handle that tonight. I know I am. I know I'm going back.
Oh man,
Yeah,
and
most likely, yeah.
yeah, hopefully in the coming weeks I'll be able to get Tiny Tina's Wonderland and play something else, another RPG. I've heard many good things about it, so hopefully in the coming weeks, not only will I be playing Dragon Ball, but Tiny Tina's something to look forward to until the summer, which I'll be playing a new fighting game. That'll take up most of my time. But by then, hopefully, the Elden Ring fever would have slowed down. Because, man, it's sold out in GameStop over there in Florida, by the way.
Really?
What?
That's
The
a
hard
fun
copies?
fact. Elden Ring, yes. My
Holy
friend went to
shit.
go buy it, and it's like, can I have Elden Ring? No, bro. That's been sold out. Like, what? I haven't
Wow.
heard of a sold out game at a GameStop since they left the island, and over there, there's no Elden Ring. There's no copies.
They're probably the guys against them are probably like super extra smug, being like, "Oh, well, you should have pre-ordered." See?
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about. That's crazy. But back to you, Mad Dog. That's what's been going on this week.
Oh, did you watch him? I feel like you watched the movie very recently. I think yesterday, though.
Oh wait, you mean the what? Don't Look Up?
Yeah, man. I want to get your opinion on this.
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. It was hella fun. It's a oh my god, it's like Curb Your Enthusiasm, like awkward, funny. You know, like it's like realistic, but it's awkward. It's like, bro, really? And wow, is it me or was the movie like a huge social commentary on on the human race?
Yes. I said the same thing, Dark. I told the same thing. Well, I don't want to say too much because I want him to see it so that to see if he gets the commentary.
Yeah, no,
but
it was insane. It was insane. It got to the point where the two protagonists are like are like us, like
Uh-huh.
normal people. Quotation, normal, right? Normal mean not mass murdering people, but whatever the case, normal people. Let's get back to the topic. Normal people, and then the rest of the world is like it's tan
Stupefied.
shallow. It's tan shallow, tan práctico.
That's super
I mean, when
stupefied.
you see Ariana Grande, it's like, don't worry about the manatees. Look up, like, what? People, there's a comet coming to kill us. Look, you don't understand? And it's like, bro, I know that Mad Dog is gonna love the complete mental breakdown of DiCaprio, because when this man starts screaming and giving it his all, he is amazing, dude. It's like, what is wrong with you people?
Oh, I remember. He's been like that. In many things. The one that always comes out, or comes to mind is it Man in the Iron Mask? He was the one who was in the Iron Mask.
Yeah.
Dude, when he like yells, I mean, and also Wolf of Wall Street, believe it or not, Wolf of Wall Street was another one. He was just all the way out there. Yeah. Yeah.
He's good, man. And
for sure.
He's trying to tell people, hello, we're all gonna die. We're all to die. Hello, and in other news, the new movie Total Devastation, starring Chris Evans or whatever, is like,
nobody takes them seriously.
Nobody takes what they're saying seriously. And I heard that the movie is a commentary on global warming. That people are telling them this is real. Shit is happening. Hello. We have to change. And people are like worrying about if Justin Bieber is marrying Ariana Grande or whatever, or if she's like, with Justin Timberlake. It's with some shit. It's like stupid shit. Stupid shit. It's what gives you the likes, the clicks, and it's like, hello, people. The ice caps are melting. They're melting. And it's like, but the manatees. We gotta save the manatees. Like, it's also plastic and hollow and shallow. And then during the movie, because there's a tonal shift in the movie. Like it's like you laugh at the retardedness of these people. This is pure retardation. They're telling these people, and obviously they're doing that porque la presidenta está cabrona, que es Meryl Streep. Oh, you could tell she had fun with that role. She had a blast.
Oh, I'm sure they all did, considering the cast.
Yes, a smug asshole president. She was magnificent.
We haven't had any of those recently.
I'm not gonna get too political, but I really love Meryl Streep in the role. She just because she's always either this nice person, she's doing these very mature roles. It's just like, hey, what? Here's a role for you. Just have some fun. Even Leonardo DiCaprio, everybody there, even Jennifer Lawrence, they were all looked like they were just having fun, fun with the roles. And well, man, throughout the movie, there's like this awkward comedy, but near that middle to end third act, it's like it starts getting serious. It's like, look, we told you the promise right there. Look at it. It's coming. Is crazy?
Does Matt Dunn needs to see this movie, Dark?
Yes.
Okay.
It's on the agenda, if you will, for sure.
Bro, please. It's definitely get some popcorn, relax. It's a fun movie to watch for sure. I could even watch it again. It's Leonardo DiCaprio against Evoto. I laughed my ass off with him and Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, they had a good chemistry. They had a good
It was great, and it is a comedy though. But near the end, he says some lines like, when the end is coming, when it's near the end already, there's a lot of funny shit going on. But even DiCaprio was able to put out a line that is kind of shivering, and it can't keep spoiling. But man, it's definitely good. It's definitely good. The next one I'm gonna watch, I don't know if both of you have watched it. Cleaner? You watched Cleaner? With
no.
Yeah, with John Boyega and that actor from The Predator. Have you seen that movie?
I did see The Predator, which I didn't really care for, but let me see. The Cleaner. Is this just Cleaner?
Yeah.
This is a 2007 film. Is that the one? Samuel Jackson, Ed Harris, Eva Mendes.
I do
I
not
mean,
know it.
If you would have remembered if Sammy
Yeah.
Jackson was there or not, you would have
Yeah, I was
remembered.
gonna
So
say.
it's not that one. It's definitely not that one.
Oh man, it has an actor who's a garbage man, and
Maybe
after
it's the
that,
cleaner. It's probably the cleaner then because
it could be.
you know,
It has Adrian Brody. There we go. Adrian Brody is the
Oh.
protagonist of that movie. And yeah, no, that's the next thing on the list of things we're gonna watch. After that, I still haven't watched Scream. Yeah, man.
cool.
So that one
Good
is
stuff.
pretty good. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Dream Twister.
Yes, sir.
What, sir, have you been doing?
It has. Well, I'm gonna keep my part short also because honestly, it's all been Elden Ring, and I feel like we have actually talked that game to death. A lot. The game offers. The game exceeded what we were expecting it was gonna offer. It's freaking exceeded in spades. Like there is so much content on it. Of course, you're not obligated to do it all, but because you're having such a good time, like you don't mind. And also the good time, like I tell you that last week, not only comes from how fun the game is, but actually spending time, together with your friends, talking about it, giving, sharing tips and strategies. Like Mad Dog, for example, helped me kill a boss that was destroying my ass for the longest time. It was so annoying. It was
Commander
so freaking
Neo.
annoying.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, Commander
Neo.
Niall.
Or
Neo or
Nile,
Niall?
whatever.
I have no idea.
Neo. I think it's Neo. Where he spawns with two enemies, and I was trying to take him with my mimic and the two enemies at the same time. I thought was a little bit more methodical, and I'm I'm watching his screen share, and I'm like, oh, dude, forget it. You're under level. You're not under. He was not under level, but he was definitely below the levels that I was when I got my ass handed to me. So I was thinking, oh shit, dude, this is gonna be a tough one, bro. But hang in there. Let me see. And I see him taking his methodical route of eliminating the ads first, and I'm like in shock. Like, wait, you're actually gonna do it? You're actually gonna beat him? Oh my God, it's happening!
What's funny is I didn't know you didn't beat it. So when you were saying that, I was like, is this guy cheering against me? I don't understand. Because I thought you had already been there. So I was like, oh, he probably beat him already.
Yeah. No, I've cleared that whole area. I already had and on top of that, he shows me an easier route to the boss also. But those are the moments that I find myself enjoying a hell of a lot. And honestly, I just want to go back to it. I think I probably, and this is just me throwing a number, obviously the ones that know will know if I'm right or wrong, but you don't have to tell me. I see probably like 2 more weeks, and then I'm and I should be done, but who knows? I don't intend to find everything. Like I'm not looking to discover everything. It's just whatever I miss. It's fine, it's okay. This is my playthrough, and the story ran the way it ran for me. I'm not trying to min max or discover everything or do the ultimate build or anything like that. So, and I think after I'm done with Elden Ring, I just want to play something completely mindless, shut my brain down completely. So that's why I'm thinking Tiny Tina Wonderlands is going to be the perfect one to go into. Because over there...
That's exactly their selling point. Do you need to shut your mind off after spending countless hours in Elden Ring? Come on over to Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Come on over to Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
I want to play it so...
Beautiful Sanford.
I want to play it so bad, dude. I want to play that game so bad. I
It's just,
love Borderlands, dude.
and it's not exactly. It's not like the game. It's doing anything that I mean. I'm going by according to reviews, but also by experience on playing Borderland games. It's the type of game where you know if you like it already. You know if you want to go into it. There's no doubt. MacDot, this is absolutely 100% not for you.
Nope.
And this is not trying to be exclusionary. Is
No,
he
no,
played
no.
Borderlands. He played Borderlands 2, and it was not. Yeah. Destiny was also not your cup of tea. Not that I would necessarily put the two and two together exactly, but kind of more or less they are, because you're pursuing their looter shooters in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like Borderlands, this looks like it's gonna be more and better. But if you didn't, then don't waste your time. There's nothing here for you. And I mean that in general, for everybody listening. I'm trying to remember if I watched a movie.
You did.
I watched. Well, I watched The Social Network again because I love that movie. But what else did I watch?
I watched Kimmy, bro.
Fucking hell, I did. Yes. God damn it.
Damn. Is that bad? Here we
Kimmy.
go.
Oh God! All right, where to begin with this? With this?
Sit
this?
back,
with this
relax,
movie?
and enjoy the ride, guys.
Yeah, you know what? I don't remember. This movie, I can't even talk. It's so mixed. This movie reminds me of another great classic called, I think it was called I Boy. And
yeah.
if any of you,
is I Boy.
I Boy,
Yeah,
Boy.
yeah.
It's with what's her name?
Arya, the actress that plays Arya Stark. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking terrible. Don't watch it. Don't even bother looking at it.
I have to watch
This
it.
is the most straight to VHS shit that you could possibly imagine, except we don't have VHS anymore. Straight to DVD, whatever.
Straight to stream.
I
Yes,
Boy.
it's a stream. And this movie was it was a version of that. It was first off, I was interested in watching this movie because I thought that it was going to, and I guess fuck me for believing this, right? It's totally my fault for having expectations. But I thought it was going to have some sort of commentary on the usage of this devices that we use at home, like the Alexis and the Google, Hey Google or
Home.
whatever, Google Home. Thank you. And now my Alexa just activated it, of course. Cancel.
It does have a commentary on that, though, which was hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I
That
get
part was
it.
hysterical.
It's not about that.
No, I know.
Oh,
No,
like, it's just it presents itself like it's supposed to. Like, oh my God, this must have some crazy like surveillance implication with having this devices and it leaves you hanging because it's not about that at all. And what it ends up being looks like a bad adult version of Home Alone at one point. At the end, at the very least, with what has to be the stupidest, most idiotic villains there ever were. A main character who we're supposed to is so fucking unrelatable the way she behaves and acts, stuff like that, and it's on purpose. She's she obviously there's some psychological scars that she has. So there's a lot of things where her not even daring to go outside, for example, which, okay, I know that probably supposed to feel sorry about this, but you still act like a total bitch.
Oh my god! Wow, you really winded that damn bitch.
Fucking unlikable, and everything that's happening about it's another one of those things where no humans will take the actions that they decide to do. You know, and
God,
I don't know if it was. I mean, it was definitely poorly written. It was just some like dumbass story. As just telling you a story, I guess it has some entertaining value, but the movie itself is completely skippable. Like, just look, I didn't even remember that I watched that shit. That's how bad it was.
This has
So,
a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes and 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb.
yes, please go ahead and watch it for me. I beg you. This is you know what you were describing just now with Don't Look Up, about how you got normal us normal people, and then you have the rest of the world being like completely
Yeah.
flat out fucking insane. That's Rotten Tomatoes right now with this. If they're giving it a fucking 90 whatever, that is exactly 100% what is happening. Like, who in the mother of fuck will actually dare to give this movie anything
Yeah.
anything over a 1.5?
Oh my god!
Out of 5. Remember, this is actually our scale.
Your mic is a little weird.
Yeah, you're coming in a little hot, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, okay. So let me
There we
stand
go.
back.
There you go.
There
Or
we
lower
go.
the game, one of the two, yeah.
52% audience score and 91% on Tomato meter. So Rotten Tomatoes is
No,
pretty full of shit.
Well, no.
shit.
So you got to look at it. Everybody seems to look at Rotten Tomatoes completely wrong. Rotten Tomatoes is just grabbing all the reviews and
Mhm.
telling you what's the it's like Metacritic. Metacritic
Right.
is not
Like
giving
a
it the
whole-
score. It's just saying, hey, based on all the
Right.
scores,
It's an
All
aggregation.
these
percent-
scores.
yeah. So
The
90 now.
audience after
I think that's
500 people.
Yeah, I think
52%.
that's an interesting the viewer, I guess the consumer or whoever it is. You said that's more at 50%. And I said that sounds about right.
Yeah.
It should definitely be more divisive. And I think I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a critic. I'm not one of the critics. I also saw the movie, by the way. And I saw it because I started it. I think I started it last week before we started the podcast. And I was like, I have to start the podcast. And my wife and everybody else was just watching it in there. But the intro was like, oh, this looks like it could be pretty
It looks
interesting.
like it's gonna go somewhere. Yeah. It
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
Interesting.
And I decided to watch it at all. I definitely don't dislike it. I understand what they were kind of trying to do. I think it first off, I like the fact that it's only an hour and a half. It's like that's
Yes,
a
it's
perfect
short-
length of a film.
It's definitely short. Yeah.
It kind of just moves, but
I'm
it
glad it,
does
was over
wrap-
quick.
yeah, I was gonna say then it kind of wraps up things really quick. And certain people, you were mentioning, certain ailments. Suddenly those ailments are gone. And it's like, yeah, that's not how mental health works, guys. Or mental issues, they don't just go away. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I've seen movies like this before too. There was another one with Sigourney Weaver, and she's basically the character is what do they call it? Agoraphobic. They have a fear of going outside. And Sigourney Weaver's character was something like that. It was another suspenseful. So I've seen this type of thing before. The difference, of course, here is it's intertwined with technology and whatever the hell Alexa's supposed to be, the Alexa version of it that's supposed to be.
But they used it like if it was just like it didn't even have to be it could have been just some regular ass recorder. Like there wasn't it felt like the movie was trying to go into some sort of like commentary that just didn't know how to
They
put
just
it
didn't.
together. It just sounded interesting. It just sounded interesting for the sake of marketing.
Is it an indie movie? Because
No, this is
no,
it's on HBO Max right now. It's
Because
directed by Steven Soderbergh.
there was a movie that didn't seem like it would be too good, but man, I was kind of impressed. So you guys ever seen the movie from 2018 called Upgrade?
I have seen Upgrade.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have.
It was pretty good.
That
It
movie was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie was impressively. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You nailed it, Dark. It is a movie that it just felt like it was gonna
It
be
felt
like
like-
weird and crappy,
yeah,
and ended up being
yeah.
very interesting. It's
Very
like, holy
interesting.
shit.
Yeah.
This actually works a lot.
That
Yes.
ending really fucked me up, man.
Yes,
It
1000%. Yes. Yes.
And I think we need some of those movies like that. So when I saw Kimmy, I'm like, okay, so it's about a murder that happened, and she doesn't like to go outside, but she witnessed it. She must be a techie of some sort, right? That's doing something. And she saw this murder. She's gonna help police, and so I'm guessing this movie doesn't go anything like that at all.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Uh,
I mean, in essence, you could just tell from the trailer that yes, there's a mystery that needs to be solved, and in her trying to put herself in, trying to get that information out, puts her in danger essentially. But the whole deal is, again, the name of the film is Kimmy, and Kimmy is the device. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay. So other than the fact that it happened to catch, certain information,
is there anything else?
what else is? Yeah, exactly. So are you saying that we should beware of the devices? We already know that, and all you're trying to. So if we want to quantify a freaking a story here or an internal meaning, what you're saying is we should trust our devices because they can save our lives, right? That's what I'm hearing. You should just give up your information, your freedom, and all this, and because if not, maybe there won't be somebody there to help out. That's about the only thing I can pull from it.
It's such a random title for for the movie because it's like it's the least part of it's the device itself is the least thing that you have to that there's any worry about when you're watching the movie. Suddenly becomes about this murder that happened, and there's people that are trying to keep it under wraps, and hired, I don't know, just a group of frigging a comedy team basically to try to stop this little girl basically that escapes, and rather than go to the police like a normal human being would, it just decides to go home to exactly the place where she'll be. They know where she lives, and it's kind. When it has decisions like that, when it starts doing things that just go completely against the rationale. Like in a movie, sometimes I understand that these things have to happen. The guy that listens to the mysterious sound at night, coming from the dark room, and it feels compelled to go in there to check what it is instead of like fucking running the hell out of it. If it was you and I, we'll just be out of that. But no, they heard a growl and they need to go in and investigate what it is because what can they do, right? So I understand that needs to happen for the sake of that giving you a story, but when it happens so much that you start questioning like the humanity of this person, it's like, are you dense or like? No, at some point it's just you can't help it. It's just bad writing, and that's what I felt. It was just.
It needs to be organic. When they do something, twists and turns, it needs to feel like it's just happening. Like a movie that did that was *Malignant*, a horror movie by the director of the. Wow, have you seen *Malignant*?
Mm-mm.
No, I haven't.
Oh,
Okay.
oh! I can't say nothing. That movie's a 9 out of 10. Solid.
Okay.
9 out of 10. It is so good, dude. It is so good.
All right.
And I can't talk anything about it because it has a lot of twists. But if you've seen the trailer, it's made by the director of The Conjuring 1 and 2 and the director of Aquaman, which I still can't believe how the director of The Conjuring made Aquaman. Hello.
I know.
But oh man, he made Aquaman is one of the best DC movies out there, bro. That movie was amazing, especially when we
Oh, it
got to
was
the
good.
city of
Yeah,
Atlantis. That was
it
great.
was really good. Yeah, I
So
liked it.
this came to a more to his roots.
Hmm.
Like I want to do horror, but I don't want it based on anything like real. I want a horror movie with an
Hmm.
original idea. Oh boy, did he blow out expectations with this one? It's very good.
Yeah,
Highly recommended. Highly
Okay.
recommended.
yeah.
Well, that really bothers me that I can't believe I saw Kimmy. I was like, I might give it a watch. With your guys' outstanding reviews for this movie, it might go to the back burner for a little bit. For a
I mean,
rainy,
you know
rainy.
what you're
my
getting
score is
into.
not as low as his, but I will definitely give it a 2.5 because I've seen again this type of film
Damn.
before, and I remember it being a little bit better. And like I said, here doesn't. I don't know. I think there was only one thing that I did catch, which was an interesting way of doing things, and that is, there's a fear of going outside, and obviously if you see the trailer, you do see that she does eventually go outside, but the camera work completely changes when she goes out to kind of and I get the reason. It kind of just enhances the fact that she's just completely uncomfortable. So it goes from being on a
Oh,
on a camera that's probably on a dolly or whatever, and now it's on a handheld. So everything's a little bit more just in her face. It's a little bit. It's at an angle instead of perfectly horizontal, and it's just like, oh, okay, that's an interesting interesting technique, right? It's telling you what's happening without actually having to tell you. You could just see it from the images. Little things like that it did. It was like, okay, that's kind of cool. But outside of that, yeah, in the end, it was, and if, like I said, it wrapped up so fast. Kimmy, I
yeah.
think, became involved with how it wrapped up in a really ridiculous way. And then yeah, then it happily ever after, and it's like that's it. She was good.
Yes.
I
So,
thought
yeah.
the movie was going to take place in her apartment and it was not going to move because since it was during the pandemic, right? That they filmed this movie
Yep.
was during
Yep.
the pandemic.
And
They
this is probably the
filmed a
first film that I think even mentions COVID. Like in
for
the film, it
real.
mentions COVID. Yeah, it even like addresses that COVID's a thing
Yeah.
that's happening. Yeah.
Oh, series
So
are doing that
because
from what my wife is telling me.
Mhm.
because I've seen two movies that did this very well. One of them was Till Death Do Us Part with Megan Fox. She really surprised me. I feel like, oh, like
Oh, we
at
talked
least
about that one.
smacking
I
her
think it's just
hand at
called Till
least
Death,
once.
though. But yeah.
Yeah, Till Death. Wow, she really showed that there is
That was
an
another good one. Yeah.
actress underneath all of that. There's an actress in there that's trying to come out. All right, she did really. She
Potentially,
carried
sir.
that.
I'm gonna just say
Yeah,
potentially because
it's
it's
the
just
begin.
one
It's
film,
yeah.
and there's a line of them beforehand that were not very good. So yes,
Um,
this one really did surprise me.
Hey, but you guys have seen was it The Island or the Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio? One of his worst movies. Holy shit, that movie is bad. That
It's
movie
not
is
great.
bad.
I still enjoy it. It's a guilty pleasure, but yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, I like that is okay, but it's not a good movie. There's no way. There's no way it's a good movie. But the other good one, and this is highly recommended, The Guilty with Jake Gyllenhaal. Have you boys seen that one?
No.
No.
Oh, what are you doing to me here? What are you doing to me here? What are you doing? I can't believe you
I'm
back
definitely
now.
adding them to the list, though. That's for sure.
The
Yeah.
Guilty is this man deserves an Oscar. That movie is all him on a phone, okay? And so all you have is his performance, okay? Because you have Ethan Hawke on the other line and some other people on the other line of the phone. But it is pure Jake Gyllenhaal. So you have nothing but his face, his mannerisms, his full-on performance to convince you of the severity of what is going on. Ese desespera tanto, he gets so desperate that you get desperate. You almost want to cry with the dude. It's so intense. And then it's like, okay, this is why Jake Gyllenhaal, he's the GOAT right there. Okay? So he's the GOAT. Man is putting in work.
The
So
GOAT?
the guilt,
Are we really going to call Jake Gyllenhaal the GOAT when we were just talking
Hell.
about Leonardo DiCaprio?
because Jake Gyllenhaal's up there, man. He's up there. He is up there.
I think we need to understand what the goat means.
Yeah, man.
All right, you can't just call everybody the goat. because then
Everybody's
that
the
just
goat.
defeats the purpose
Yeah.
of the goat. Yeah,
No. The GOAT
but no,
title
Jake Gyllenhaal is pretty good.
can
Yeah,
be
he's pretty good.
given to multiple people, man. Okay, it's a title. It's handed off.
So then the goats. Okay, gotcha.
All right, the GOATs would have to be, we're talking about the Tom Hanks, the Viola Davis, the Denzel, the GOATs, bro, the OGs, the legends, okay? And Leonardo DiCaprio is right underneath the legends, okay? I need to cry. I need to cry. I'm talking snot bubble types of crying. Like in Saving Private Ryan, I was crying, snot bubble, can't breathe, you're having trouble breathing, that level, okay? That level of snot bubble has to come out for me to go, okay, this dude is just a legend. And, Tom Hanks got some heavy hitters, but Jake Gyllenhaal with this movie did an amazing job. Okay, he did an amazing. And I'm happy to see Robert Pattinson as the Batman. He could do much better than the Batman.
Jesus Christ. there's like a whole trip of movies here. We might as well rename the podcast to add in the movies with Mad Dog and Dark.
Bro,
I have nothing to add to this.
Because you like action movies. You like movies that get your blood pumping, right? So, like movie like Ambulance with Jake Gyllenhaal that's coming up now in theaters. You should go watch that. You probably have a fucking amazing time.
Yeah,
with this movie.
Probably the thing with me and watching movies is that movies it's too passive of a activity to me, and it's not like I do. It's not like I'm fucking like an athlete or doing or constantly going like working out or any shit like that. What I mean is, it needs to be like I need to be interested on what the movie is about first. Like I can't sit down and I can sit down and watch a regular action movie and find it entertaining, but I'm not gonna seek that. That's not what I'm gonna like look for unless someone like really tells me like, oh, dude, no, this is special. You need to sit down and watch this. To me, it's more of a, well, I don't know if this movie is great or not, but I am interested in the subject matter. So sure, let me watch it, and it'll be, it is what it is. If it's great, awesome. If it's not, that's why there's so many movies that are classics that I honestly haven't watched because it's just honestly don't care about the subject matter. So that's why I asked. So the gaping holes that I have on my movie watching is that if you tell me a movie about a movie called Ambulance, I
and you're like, what is it about?
Yeah, is it about an ambulance?
It's it's about two bank robbers that get in there and they get into an ambulance, and now it's a Michael Bay movie. That alone should have your ass on the seat.
The actor, like, that's another thing. Very rarely does actor names like generate any sort of interest because I don't follow. I don't follow them enough to be like, oh shit, like
it's all about the explosions. Like,
I know it is.
There's lots of explosions, people dying. Amazing.
I know that it is in this one, but there are other examples where they say, "Oh, this is a fucking Jordan Peele movie or something like that." It's like, okay, well, I know what kind of movie I could sort of expect, from that, but that doesn't automatically means, oh, I need to watch it because if at the end I don't care about the subject matter. But anyway, this is not about movies, guys. I still have the one thing more that I've watched before I hand it to Mad Dog. This is a subject matter that interests me. And that is a series that I started watching this week, and that series is actually Halo by Paramount Plus. Yes.
No.
Yes. I saw Halo.
So wait, real quick, is Halo the series all out? Is this something that's bingeable, or is it releasing a week at a time?
Okay. It's a week at a time. it seems like it's a week at a time. I did not find any other episodes, and yeah, it seems like that's how they're
It is a
going.
week at a time. I can confirm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then yeah.
So how?
So so let me tell you that if you're looking, obviously, just get this out of the way. After watching a masterpiece like The Expanse, there's nothing, nothing right now. This thing has nothing on that. Absolutely 100% nothing on that. But we weren't expecting that. All right, that's fine. That's all fine. What I didn't not expect was the series to be so binary. Like it does the things that do good, they do really fucking good. Like I gotta give it props to the idea of taking the lore of Halo with locations, with the way the characters look, with the way the aliens looked, all of that. They did not fuck around with that, except when they madly fucked up with that. So it's like it's almost perfect in some areas, and in some other areas they're like, what the fuck? And what I mean by that is like the look of the Master Chief, the look of the Spartans, the look of the Covenant, the setting where the planet, when they show Planet Reach, when they show Planet, forgot what the hell was what's it called, but I've heard it mentioned on the lore. That shit is great. That shit it's on the dot. You could tell that. I mean, there are some concessions still made. Like for example, you see, the Pelican, the Pelicans are the ships, the transport ships basically, and the weaponry that they use and everything looking very nice and very of the era. And then on the side of it, you see like an old Chevy Tahoe for some reason, and you're like, "Wait a minute, this is not even Earth. This is another planet. I recognize what a Chevy Tahoe looks like, And you did not make any attempt to hide the fact that that's just some old ass truck, to old ass in the sense of this series is supposed to be taking in the future, obviously, year 25 something. So some weird things like that. But man, the worst case scenario.
The breaking of immersion.
The worst case scenario that you could have actually expected at some point in this series to happen, they just handed down to you on the very first episode. And this is, I guess it's because we consider spoilery, but honestly, people are reporting on it. So if and it's not something major to the plot, because I guess the plot is not gonna be canon to the games. It's just gonna do its own thing, which I can appreciate that, because I don't want a retelling of the stuff that happened in the game, because those stories are super garbage. Master Chief take his helmet off. He takes his helmet off.
Asco.
It is the worst case scenario, the worst case scenario you could possibly imagine Master Chief being, is literally, dude, bro, the game, the movie, the series. It is first of all, you see Master Chief, and you can't help, like at the first appearance, and you can't help but feel impressed by how accurate he looks to the Master Chief that we've seen in recent games. Now, granted, some of this the move sets when, especially during the fighting scenes, they can look a little stilted, kind of like stormtroopers fighting. What you see, you can tell they're a little, encumbered, but it's not like in most Marvel movies where you tend to see the heroes, don't matter what they're wearing or what they have on, if it's a good Marvel movie and not done like they did Black Panther, for example, you could, as far as the fighting scenes and special effects, you could see that the fights are fluid, still. It doesn't matter if the bad guy, for example, who has like fucking like shoulder pads the size of other people, and he can still move. He's still his moveset is still very fluid and very free. On this one, you can tell that the actors are kind of having a little bit of a hard time with all this shit on, but whatever, it's not terrible. What starts sounding terrible is when you hear Master Chief says his first lines, and you realize like, ooh, that's not the way the Master Chief sounds at all. Like, this voice is too tiny.
Wow.
Like, I mean, for the Master Chief, like whoever is, I don't remember the voice. Who's the actor? Doctor, you'll probably find this for me. Like, who is the person that actually does the voice of the Master Chief? Like, this ain't it. This is not it. But it's even worse when you see actually the actor and you see that the Master Chief is exactly what us Halo players were hoping.
You're talking about not having Steve Downs being the voice. Steve Downs is the voice of the Master Chief, and he has a very calm. Yeah, he's a iconic. We're talking about Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill levels of iconic. And that's the problem when you make a live action adaptation of a movie, of a game. It's because his voice is the first thing. When you say Chief, I hear Cortana. Get us ready for action. Like, it's very calm. It's a very relaxed. Whenever there's danger, Chief, we have to get out of here. Give me a gun. I'll handle him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really, really calm. Like, no matter how dire the situation, they told me that in the series, he goes like, "Oh, Alpha Chief, oh, but calm down, dog." The Chief doesn't talk like that. He's a very calm, he's a very strategic type of soldier. This por la disciplina, because the discipline that they have, they were trained. They're almost like robots in that sense, but no, they're not. They have feelings and they have whatnot, but they're so disciplined that it's ridiculous.
Like the real Spartans.
And it does that first episode does a pretty decent job in establishing that. Like, you can see, okay, so this group is like it's like humanity's best weapons, but this is probably something that was done by a very Black Ops, very like in the shadow. Like, this is not supposed to be sanctioned.
No, they were forced into that.
Yeah. And some of the presentation, it's like they nailed it. It's like, because I've also read a couple of the books and obviously played the games, and some of that presentation is on the dot, dude. When I say on the dot, I mean, like, okay, obviously 343 Industry was heavily involved in a lot of the areas. It just seems like they have some sick days, and on those 6 days that they had that they didn't show up for the meeting, some intern came in with their wild ideas of like, oh, let's make Cortana look like this, or let's have Master Chief be the exact stereotype that we were afraid that it was gonna be. Dude, every time I imagine Master Chief taking off his helmet, I always imagine like some fucking Adonis. Like, he needed to be like fucking Idris Elba or some shit like that. It had to be like someone like respect demanding. But no. Not here. It's just the most dude bro-ish, like, who are you, actor? Like, who cares? It's not good. It was very, very bad. it does seem to be going towards an interesting story, an interesting take, which I again very appreciative because I don't want a retelling of the awful story of the Halo games, at least anything after 3.
Yeah, I agree.
But
100%.
And it seems like it has an opportunity. It's kind of like its own thing, its own reboot, and for that I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna say it every week and watch the next episode and probably report and see what happens. If it ends up being like too boring or crazy or out there like fucking Star Trek Discovery ended up being, I stopped watching that shit because it was just boring. And if this ends up being that, then unfortunately it is what it is. But I can tell you right now that at least as a Halo fan, I am cautiously optimistic. Let's say I say cautiously optimistic. I'm not gonna say Mad Dog, run and see this because there's not. I mean, it's not. It's no. I'm gonna keep those for when I get expanse levels of goodness.
Oh my God!
In
that case, you're probably never gonna give me anything else again. You can't aim that high, bro.
Dude, I've been hearing you guys.
Hey,
I've been hearing you guys give the expanse so much. It better be that good, boys. It better be that
it's
good.
okay. I'm not. I am not even.
Don't worry.
I am not
you don't
even
have to worry.
slightly worried that you're not gonna like it.
No,
not even
we're
slight.
not. No,
yeah.
we're not.
Just everything since, you know what I mean? Everything that's happened since that show has come out, and everything I learned afterwards, you know what I mean? Because I didn't even know when it was on. That's God tier level show right there.
Yeah.
Easily. That's not even an exaggeration. That's God tier. That's God tier sci-fi. Yeah.
And you haven't even seen Sopranos, and I've been telling you both.
No. God tier sci-fi. That's why I had to change that because I was going to say show. I would still say
sci-fi.
Yeah, I would still say Breaking Bad probably would sit at the top.
I would put it up there. It's good. Oh, Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Breaking Bad is phenomenal. But yes, but you know what? There are those God tier level shows that you just can't wait to continue watching. The Arcane. Arcane. It's a series that I mean, you gave me that, and in return, I gave you The Expanse. That was a fair trade because Arcane is amazing.
Arcane.
If you haven't watched Arcane on Netflix, you have Netflix. I know you guys have Netflix. Go watch Arcane, and not just episode 1 and leave it there. That's what my nieces did. He just, I started watching. How many have you watched? Just one. It's like, fucking hell. you haven't really seen anything, you know.
So you've seen a part of the setup, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, you've seen the artwork basically. Anyway, that's all. That's all I've been doing.
That was a long week, man.
Well, I don't have a lot of movies and games to talk about, so I tend to extend mine, you know.
Well, mine's not gonna separate too far from you. I'm obviously still playing, Elden Ring, and still loving the hell out of it. But I am starting to feel that drag where it's like I kind of need this and it literally released. A month ago. It came out on the 25th of February, and it is now the 26th of March, and I'm just 130 hours in. Just like, okay, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not saying I'm enjoying it, but I'm just like, wow, did they outdid themselves? It's one of those things where it's like they just said, we're gonna give you everything here, toma. You're not gonna want to do anything else, and they nailed it because I haven't wanted to want to do anything else. But I do want to see it happen. So I don't know. I don't even know where I'm headed at the moment. I'm just like I'm gonna follow the lights as they say, and just kind of go from there, and hopefully we'll get to the ending. Um, but I am enjoying it and highly recommend it for anybody who hasn't.
Oh,
I have
please, yes.
I have been. I also watched Kimmy, as I mentioned a moment ago. I won't get into it. I already gave my score 2.5. Not horrible, but definitely, nothing to write home about for sure. I did watch a movie I missed out on. I've seen all the Born Identities, Born Identity, Born Supremacy, Born Legacy, all the way. But I never actually got to see Jason Bourne, which is the final one that released back in 2016. And so I watched Jason Bourne, and it just kind of, it's a lot of what the other ones were, except for Legacy.
Mhm.
Legacy really went a little bit weird. That's the one that doesn't even have Matt Damon in it.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I was just like, it's amazing how that movie series, and this is the same guy who's been doing it, Paul Greengrass. I don't like shaky cam, man, and the shaky cam is in full force here. And you don't realize how much you don't like shaky cam in action until you see movies like John Wick, and you realize you can do good action without shaky cam. So I can see what the fuck is going on and not feel dizzy. But Paul Greengrass, I mean, and to be fair, this is what he's been doing since the first Born Identity, which I know I did. I enjoyed it when it first came out. But the action here is just it just got too much of that, and it kind of was treading along a lot of the same storyline from before. It's like, for some reason, if you've seen any of the Bourne thing, you know that there's an organization that's creating these killers or assassins, whatever, or secret agents they unleash them when they need to unleash them, whatever. And everyone, it seems to be a new organization, a new a new department within the government. It's like, oh my god, it's never ending. It's like you cut one head off, another one pops up somewhere else. But anyway, so I mean, this one I'm just gonna give it. Honestly, I'll probably give this one also. No, I'll give it a 3 because I did enjoy it for what it was. So a 3 out of 5 on the Jason Bourne
saga.
Definitely diminishing returns with that series, and I'm hoping that, mentioning John Wick here, I'm hoping that they learn a little lesson here and say, okay, let's try to wrap this up in John Wick 4. Yes, you know what I mean. I really shouldn't have gone past 3, but it's like, okay, but let's try to wrap this up, because at some point it's like it's just gonna be
too dumb and too much.
Yeah.
So or like in this case, Jason Bourne, it just becomes irrelevant. So, and then finally, I started watching a series with my wife. It's called Designated Survivor. And
oh yes.
So this is only in the first season. I think there are only 3 seasons, but these are the 22 episode ones too. So I was like, oof.
Oh wow, those are long seasons. Yeah.
Yeah. This stars Kiefer Sutherland. And this is in the very beginning of the trailer, or beginning of the series. So you kind of get the setup. The setup is essentially who the designated survivor is in the government. And what it is, if there's ever a State of the Union address or whatever the case may be, there's always someone set aside who doesn't attend, he's under guard. Should something happen, there's a surviving member of the government, and that's the thing happens at the very beginning of the show. The Capitol blows up. Interesting enough, the Capitol blows up.
Interesting.
I know, and
holy shit.
I think the show was in 2016. I think when it first came out. But anyway, Capitol blows up. President, everybody goes. Everybody goes. There's only 2 members left. One congressman and he is a Secretary General of HUD, which is like Housing Authority. Who Keith Sullivan's character is, and he's next in line, and he becomes the president, and never wanted to be the president. He's just, I'm here to the folks, whatever. And his wife is played by I saved this up because I wanted to mention her in your show Halo, Catherine Hansley, Dr. Catherine Hansley.
Oh,
that actress plays his wife in this show.
Okay.
And so you have him. You've got a few other people which I recognize, but so this is the whole thing of the series. Obviously, is him having one to deal with now becoming president. His family, who also didn't expect to have this happen in their life. The inexperience of running a country and how he would handle it, and then of course the rebuilding of the. Well, we need Congress, right? We need Congress members back, because otherwise nothing's moving, right? 'Cause it's an interesting scenario where I realize, or at least that's what they're trying to portray. It's like without Congress, there's certain decisions and things that are happening through your through your daily lives. Money's getting sent here for this, blah blah blah. That if there's no one there to vote for it or nobody there to talk about it, then it just doesn't go anywhere. So shit just and so that. It's an interesting thing. And I was like, okay, I don't know if it's on the nose. I don't know if it's very serialized show. That's my only complaint about it is nothing catching me off guard. When it also, because it was a show that was on TV, it does that thing where it goes, oh my God, this is going to happen here. And then the music goes, dun, 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 and then it's about to cut.
Fade to black and commercials.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously there's no commercial, but it has that little pause for a moment. So very serialized. I don't know if it's the same makers of 24, because it's interesting seeing Kiefer Sutherland make it from the show 24 when he was an agent to now a show that he's the president, which is interesting. But anyway, it's okay. We're watching it. It's interesting. But again, my only takeaway is that nothing is surprising. Like I can kind of see, oh, that's probably this person. Oh, that's probably whatever. And it exactly happens as I thought. You know what I mean? All right. Maggie Q's in it too. I wanted to mention her, and then she's a special agent. Yeah, that's really it. That's I don't really have much to say about that show other than we're probably in episode 8. We'll probably jump on a little later on to continue the series, but more to come on that. I'll let you know if we decide to fall off or something like that. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is all that we can do. And we are back, and we're just going to go right in to our hot topic of the week.
Hot topic!
That's what I love to hear. Love to hear the enthusiasm.
We need to clip him. I told you, we need to clip his excitement so that when we don't have him around, we can just, use a soundboard.
Use a soundboard? Yeah. Hey, I'm calling a patent, lawsuit on your ass. If you do that, I want some royalties.
We'll pay you of our runnings. Actually, yes, I concur. I
agree. You get 20% of all earnings.
Exactly, of the earnings of the podcast, which so far has accumulated to $0.00. So, what's 20% of that is
technically it's in the negative because there are expenditures.
Yes,
I am calling for a 20% increase to 40%. Why? Because if any of y'all have seen the founder, that's exactly how this shit happens every time. Like, 20%. Welcome to the podcast. This is the GG group. Yeah, that multi-million-dollar group that expanded somehow. Because Mad Dog and Dream, they became billionaires and they made a whole podcast. And now, no. 40%. 40%
now.
All right. Still billionaires. We'll have our agent call your agent, and
we'll start the negotiations.
Get the paperwork going, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Draw up. What is it? Draw up the paperwork. Is that the term?
Draw the
paperwork.
Yeah. The contract.
Yeah. Let's get it, boy. So, what is the hot topic?
Hot topic again, guys, is gaming. I was gonna say shortcuts. It's not shortcuts. Oh my God, what was it again?
Opening. How did you find
Time savers, bro.
Time savers. Thank you, dear
Time
Lord. Time
savers.
savers. Yes.
Sweet.
Also known as shortcuts.
Shortcuts.
So let's go ahead and kick it off, sir. Since this is, I'm just deferring to you because I feel this one is near and dear to you, sir. So get us
Yes.
kicked off here. What is exactly? Well, give an example of a shortcut, or I keep saying shortcut, a time saver.
So a time saver, it takes many shapes. We have discussed, the good ones, which is the ones that are meant to be found, the one the developers leave, the secrets, if you will, and those special nuggets that the developers will leave us for us to find, and it becomes a lot more efficient. We become a lot more efficient on whatever game we're playing.
Mhm.
It could be whether it's a particular combination of items that you wear on your character, or it's a little shortcut through a stage that someone found. Those are the good ones. The not so good ones will be the ones that people exploit. And when I say exploit, I don't mean like hack in the sense of hacking.
Although that is a bad one
Dark.
too.
You mean
Well,
dark.
that will go into the worst category. But there are some things that speedrunners use that are considered shortcuts, but they're not inherently bad. That they are taking advantage of something that the game allows for the moment. And to me, I think that unless it's something that was really not meant to be in the spirit of what the game was trying to do, if it was something that if it's something that someone is taking advantage of a bug, then to me that's a little bit more on the gray area, but I guess it's still fine. I guess the worst case scenario will be those features that companies will try to sell you in, which is like it happened with Assassin's Creed, the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the coin doubler. You guys remember that? I call it called the coin doubler. In reality, it was an experience doubler. Yeah, it was an experience doubler.
I never played Odyssey. Never played Odyssey.
So the thing with Odyssey was that the game was actually a good game. Believe it or not, the game was very well designed. However,
Ubisoft bullshit. Here we go.
Ubisoft decided because they wanted to monetize it. They decided to start like messing around with
the experience,
the progression of it, to the point where it's almost like it's happening with Gran Turismo now.
Dude.
Just so that you will feel that grind.
Yes.
Not so much to where you will stop playing, but enough to where you'll be like tempted to buy.
Microtransactions.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just so nasty.
Exactly. That's when the games are playing us. And to me, it's like, no, thank you. Ubisoft, you created a game that could have been considered a very good game, but because you fucked it up with microtransactions in that way, it's no longer. That's why I was thankful that they didn't do that shit with Valhalla. Although Valhalla has its own issues, but it's nothing like this. So
there's an interesting one that I have seen because I've seen, back when I was playing Dark Souls 3 and all this stuff, and you kind of check out some tips and tricks and stuff like that, and occasionally you run into a video where I don't know how they do it. I don't know what they're doing. They jump in a specific way or in whatever, and they suddenly jump into the background of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
right.
And is that's not a hack though, is it? That would be more of a
No, I mean, they're not, because remember, they're not really, they're not they're not purposely breaking the game. Like, they're not doing something to the code themselves, or introducing, like I've seen in, like, I don't know if you remember the NES era, where they will introduce, like, Game Genie, to
Yeah.
Game Genie. Yeah, I remember that.
things like that.
Wow, you went way back.
I know. I feel like speed runs, to me, you're playing the game, but for the specific purpose of breaking a record. You're not sitting down to get the story, because you're skipping everything. It's not
So that's a
about
speed run
the experience. So yeah, that's a speed technique, and one that, hey, it's never guaranteed, because developer could decide to shut down whatever it is that is allowing that to happen, like it happened with the Elden Ring speedrunners. So, but
How are they
speed running, huh?
How are
Yeah,
they
I was gonna say,
speedrunning?
how are they speedrunning?
Oh, I don't know, because that usually goes into, like, spoilery thing that I haven't finished Elden Ring yet to find out.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
it was.
I know
it's
there
basic-
was like under 30 minutes or something like that. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was
How
like,
is that
what?
possible?
Yes. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it still involves some skills. But then I've seen some speed runs for Super Mario World, for example, where the goal is to get to the to credits, right? The fastest, and. And don't get me wrong, it takes a lot of skill to pull what this person was trying to pull, but it was some, like, fucked up hacky thing, to where a minute after the game started, you were already seeing the credits, because you were taking advantage of a memory issue with the code. So, but that's something, that's something that doesn't really. That's taking advantage of something that's already, like, broken. That's not purposely breaking, the game. For example, like, a developer could break a game to make it more enticing for you to end up buying microtransactions, or a gamer could break their own game by just going in and using Cheat Engine, which is a famous program on PC that they could use to give themselves 99 lives or unlimited, Game Genie their way.
Game Genie.
Yeah.
And more power to you. If that's your fun, then that's fine. It is what it is. But here's what I have. Here's what I have, the dilemma.
Here we go.
A lot of the time savers are being used for the purpose of just booking it to the end, right?
Yeah.
And when you have and this is whether it's intentional, whether it's by the actual developers that program that shit like that, or whether it's like, oh, I discovered something, I discovered the thing that could give me unlimited power. If the point of playing a challenging game was to test yourself against it, and then what is the point of using the time savers, basically in a scenario like that? Because what you're saying with a time saver is, I don't have more time, to put in this game for whatever reason,
Yeah, like myself recently.
Right, but then how is this different from allowing developers to have game difficulties?
How is it different? Oh,
Right.
well, first off, well, so I guess I should probably give it history. So because of the amount of time I've spent so far in Elden Ring, which again I have enjoyed all of it. But a part of me is like, I just need this to come. And what I could just do is look up and see where do I need to go? What's the next thing I need to do? So I can just
Mhm.
get to the next thing. And I was like, well, that's one option. And I was presented a different option. A certain gentleman who is with us today, as a matter of fact, Mr. Dark. Uh, he offered as, hey, I have I have a way within game, which is allowed. It's it's not a hack, it's not a whatever. It's actually
That we know of.
the no, it just
No,
just the
no.
just the way it was done. I was like, oh, I see how this is. I can see that somebody's probably accumulating these in their games. You know what I mean,
Right.
and moving them around into
So-
And
certain
then just
files.
giving
Yeah.
them
Many
away.
hours.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
just
So I was
giving
like,
them away
okay,
for
this
free.
makes sense. Now, would you want to spend time doing that? Me personally, no. But I mean, somebody is, and it's like, well, okay, that would be one way. So he was able to essentially provide, was it about 12 million runes?
12, yeah, 11.5.
There you go. So just about 12 million runes. And so I was like, okay, and I just kind of, I didn't use it all at first, and I was like, let me just see what I can get from here and all that. So again, with the purpose of saying, okay, well, first off, I've lost so many runes doing stupid shit sometimes,
Mm.
and it's just
As
is
you
what it is,
should on a game like this type of game.
as it's designed to do, yeah. And
Mm.
so I was like, you know what, this is just me getting some of this back, and hopefully this can help fast track a little bit. First off, it has not. So that was that's an interesting thing, but that's not the point. Well, what does it matter as far as developers putting difficulty modes in it, or rather an easy mode in to instead of having to go through all this? Again, I have no problem if a developer decides to do that.
You don't,
But-
but I have been I have been lambasted for even for because, and I think I've made my point many times that it has come up, which to me is like, no, I don't think every game needs to have it, but I do believe that if a game didn't have it and the developers chose to add it for whatever reason, it changed absolutely nothing on the game, because I still played it the way it was, quote unquote, meant to be played, and whatever, it changes nothing. Whereas a lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of people in the group even see it as a like the game changed. Like suddenly it devalues. It devalues what the game was intended to do. Until you run into a scenario that starts affecting you. You run into a scenario where it starts affecting your life, and then okay, well, I guess that's okay. And I've been lambasted actually for considering the fact that for saying, like, I remember that my argument was with Cuphead. Cuphead always looked like a very
Cuphead, right,
yeah, like a very, like, man, this game it's so charming and stuff like that on the rest. Too bad that it's like super hardcore. Like you need to you definitely need to get good at that, at that game. I tried playing it until I lost my patience with it. I was like, okay, I don't want to play anymore. It's a shame, because I would have actually liked to see. And like, I don't tend to play games on easy, but this one I could have made an exception just to see it, just because the whimsy was captivating. That old. Like I te digo, loco, that was actually like I said a blasphemy against the game. Because I was rained down upon for even considering the fact that the Cuphead should be, and completely completely taking it the wrong way. I never said, oh, I wish they would put one, or I wasn't like. And then it got transformed into a conversation about gatekeeping. Like, well, if you don't have the time to put on it, maybe
Yeah,
you shouldn't be
it
playing
was
it.
right in my head. That
And
word was in my head the whole
it
time.
was
you were
like it
talking
became
about
a conversation of, well, not every game is for everyone. Which, hey,
it. Said,
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. It's like, obviously my wife is not gonna play fucking Dark Souls. 100%. I guarantee you, 100% that she will not play Dark Souls. But if they decide to put an invincible mode on it, or God forbid, someone with an actual reason for needing to play the game, like an actual what's the word, disability, like with an actual disability, wanted to play a game. Heaven forbid that the developers will try to mellow things down a little bit for that type of player, because hey, no, it's not for them. So it became at one point that, to where I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop, because now the conversation is just like, now it's just turning out like I don't like where it's going. It's starting to feel a little toxic, and I'm not about that. And I'm sorry if I was misunderstanding.
Yeah.
I never said, oh, this game needs, they need to make a game with a difficulty thing. My point has always been, hey, if they offer the option there later on, then it doesn't devalue in any way whatsoever. Same thing with this game that recently got a co-op.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring that game up as well.
I was too.
Fucking
Co-op
Returnal.
That should be an easier mode, but
it is. That is literally the developer even said that.
Yeah, it's basically doing just that. At one point, we had a conversation where we were literally saying that, oh, it does change the game if you do that, and I'm like, how so?
Well, like I said, it does for Returnal. It does change the game. And the fact is, there's just no. When the game first was released, there was only one path, right? And now there's another option. So the game itself has changed. You know what I mean? And whether it's changed for the better or for the worse, or if it's whatever the same, that's going to be a personal thing. So I view it as, yes, it has changed, but that doesn't mean it doesn't. Yeah, I mean,
we all know that it has changed, but I think you were saying that it devalues it. Which
it can devalue the prior experience, which would be my own personal experience. My own personal experience with the game, I'm saying, I knew that there's only one path through this particular game, and if it suddenly it opens up several, yes, that's great for those who are able to do it, but it still in essence changes the way I feel about the game. It changes it does in many ways. Kind of devalue, like, okay, so all that craziness I had to go through, I really didn't have to, because there would have been options if I had just waited, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
So again, that doesn't make it a bad thing. You know what I mean? And it certainly doesn't.
Devaluing is inherently a bad thing.
It doesn't make it a bad thing.
It a bad game. Probably.
Yeah, it doesn't make it a bad game. And devaluing it, in my eyes, again, it's the personal thing. It's like, it's how I'm viewing it, because yes, it is now a different game. And so, it's just something I will. It's just kind of how I end up looking at it. Like, oh, it is what it is. I still want. I mean, mentioning Returnal, I want to jump in with it. I want like I saw them do that, and the first thing I said, this is great. I can probably get Dreamy to come back. You know what I mean? So we can do this.
That will be my way of beating the game and saying I beat it. I beat it in co-op. I didn't beat it solo, and that's how I wanted my experience to be. Because at the end of the day, I just wanted to see the story.
There you go. And like I said, and the fact that the developer chose to do this, it's their choice, right? It's like if they make that choice, and it's like, if From Software's most likely never going to make that choice. It is what it is. They're not going to do it. But if for some strange reason they did, it would still be their choice. It's their vision or whatever the case may be that they're trying to do. I think I just don't like pressure from either way. I don't want to be I don't feel it's correct to pressure them to put in some sort of easier mode. I don't think it's, and I also don't think it's great to pressure those who don't want to play a game that's challenging like that you're not really into. And then obviously lambasting them. That's never a good thing. But yes, I do view it that way, that it can devalue my experience with it. You know, but again, that's me personally, right? Because you said, yeah, at the time, you know, you're how you had it at the time hasn't really changed. You know, it didn't change. What I did with it is still there, but the fact that it's no longer that one path. Yes, I feel like it does. Again, this is my personal take on it. But I think as an example, we were looking at some of the trophies and stuff like that. It's like, oh man, so few have gone through it. I would love more. You know, it's like I love seeing the fact that was it Margit, the first one, Margit, right?
Margit,
the first whatever. When it first, you saw articles talking all this crap about, only 40% of people have even been able to be the first boss Margit, and all this stuff, and it's just like,
that to me is a high number. That to me is a high number because not everybody plays like us. People especially there's a lot of new people going into the game that are probably still stuck in Limgrave. That's my point, was to say that doesn't seem that low either. The game has just came out, but the issue there was that article was meant to fan the same flames of the same fucking conversation that happens all the time. And I was like, look at it now, and now it's at 70-something%. It's like, so where are those new articles at? Where's the update to this article to say, oh, hey, I guess it wasn't that big a deal. You know what I mean? So, and the conversation around that is unfortunately does get toxic. But as far as,
it's a very volatile conversation, because a lot of the time when you start a game, like it's different, man. It's different when you have a game. I'm gonna go to Doom. Doom has difficulty levels right from the rip. Okay, you choose to play how you want, but it's different when you have a game like a Souls game, or like Cuphead, which I'm guessing Cuphead didn't have any difficulty levels either, did it?
No, it's just whatever. Yeah,
it's just whatever. It's like when you play through a game, you have a sense of pride. How do you guys feel knowing that you beat the fire giant? Dream, you beat the fire giant. You beat him, dude. You beat him a pulso. Like, you had to nut up and beat him fair and square, because I can't take it away from you, bro. I can't take away that achievement. That is your achievement. You earned it. It's yours. You can hang it up on a wall. You can shower while you look at it. It's beautiful, bro. I cheesed that. And that is what's the problem with it. I cheesed that fight because that fire giant was ridiculous, dude. Whooped my ass like 27 times.
Well, I mean, even cheesing, it's a viable strategy. If there's a way, if you find a way, it's. I mean, you could say I cheesed it, but you still beat it. You didn't hack into it, or.
It's not the same, man. You went in their balls deep, bro. With your sword in hand.
I tried to cheese it, remember?
And that hurts.
And you said, they passed that shit. You can't cheese it no more.
I have to beat him.
I was looking for the same,
for the same method.
For the same method at the end of the day. Yeah.
I am a competitor, dude. I have to beat him now. I have to find a way to beat this. It's like if Dream do it, bro. Bro, there's nothing you can say. Either you do it, or you better uninstall. You suck. You're not as good as Dream. And that competition, which I love. I love competing. I love, trying my hardest. And my friends, that we compete together and we try to one up each other and we push ourselves. That's why we share strategies. We're like, maybe you should try this method. It might help you out. And like, oh shit, it worked. Wow, well, thanks, bro. And we help each other improve. And that competition, as long as it's healthy competition, of course, is a good thing. And that's the pride of a gamer. And I made a new character. He's 130, and I'm about to reach a fire giant. I better beat the fire giant. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I have to do it now because Dream did it. No cheese, with my sword in hand. I have to. Okay, and that's exciting. That's exciting to me.
You said you mentioned friend. It's like a fun, friendly competition, but I mean, I'm never gonna be able to compete with you because you're a fucking beast, and we all know that. You roll credit before you roll credit on that before you on the game before you reach level 100, and I think I'm 120.
No. I was 140. What was I? I don't remember now. Damn, was I? I don't know. I don't.
Anyway, anyway, and I can't compete, with Mad Dog because he's roided out now. I said roided out, but you know what I mean. And he's like a level 160, 60 something, and which is fine because all of us are playing. This is not a multiplayer. I mean, you could play co-op, I guess, but I have wanted to do this, on my own. That's why many times I said no to your offers of help, and it's not that I don't appreciate them because believe me, I fucking do. And I ask you questions, I ask you questions when I get stuck and stuff like that.
I understand.
But for the most part,
understand, dude.
So
it's the pride.
But I I don't have that. I don't have the friendly competition anymore because like everybody's now like woo, decided to go.
I'm going to be the first to say, sir, and I mentioned this before, and I don't know if it's because just the area I'm in or something like that. It's still not easy. This didn't. I mean, maybe obviously it does do something. It gives you a little bit more of an edge, but in the end, you still have to. I still have to perform.
Yeah,
I have to go out there
like
and
it doesn't
still,
become. It's not gonna become a button matcher. Like we'll know even the easiest portion of the game. You can still get killed
correct. I've probably, and mostly because I'm fighting some bosses at this point. But there's some areas that I was in, and I'm dying and losing souls at the same rate that I was before. You know what I mean? It's like I haven't really noticed much of a difference. Other than the fact that I'm maybe not using Estus as I guess as or not running out of Estus as often, or not Estus, whatever the fuck it's called. And so, but really, it's not I'm gonna probably say it's not really the time saver I thought it was gonna be. You know what I mean? Because I still, again, I can't say where I'm at because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's where I'm at. I've kind of hit the wall. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, so, and part of me just goes like, man, what would have been like if I came, to this particular spot without all that? You know what I mean? It's probably it wouldn't be that much.
I'll let you know because Dark gave me a shit ton of things of souls also, which I have to say, I ended up getting because of how the our figuring transaction ended up going. But I have there, and yesterday as we were talking, I was like, I'm gonna record myself just like discarding them because I have no use for them. Just kind of like, oh, let me make a point. But then I thought, no, that's stupid because A, that was a gift from Dark, and B, when I'm done with this game, when I roll credits, I won't give a fuck. So I intend to roid myself the fuck out and just go crazy. Because honestly, I'll probably a little bit more and then I'll be done because I'm gonna want to play something else. I'm in no hurry of seeing Endgame. Like I said, it's probably 2 or 3 weeks more, and if it's a month more, then so be it. I'm gonna miss you guys because you guys would have already been playing something else, but that's fine. It's my-
Please don't tell me you're gonna do the same thing to Elden on Tiny Tina, and not allow anybody
No,
to
no, no,
co-op.
no,
And that
Tiny
thing
Tina.
made
Oh,
for
no, Tiny Tina.
co-op.
No, I'm sorry, bro. I played that game on PC because it's gonna be cheaper. I could buy that game for $42 instead of 60. So
Oh.
I apologize that I'm not gonna do PlayStation on Tiny Tina. But if
Any
I
crossplay? Probably not.
Probably not. I wish it was, because if there was, oh hell yeah! I don't care about that one. The thing with Souls games is that the co-op section, and I'm not saying that it becomes trivial. I mean, I joke around about trivializing the experience, especially when you're playing with a dark.
Wow.
But in reality, obviously, you guys have done co-op on Dark Souls 3. You guys know that it still gets it's still hard.
Yeah, there's no easy path. But
Right.
I think that's what I'm realizing, that even with the additional souls,
It's easier with co-op though, because I mean, the mimic alone, it's kind of like almost being a co-op when you can use it, but you can't use it everywhere. But imagine having a mimic tech you can actually use everywhere. And by the
but I
way,
think
it's
if
more
you do
intelligent.
co-op, if I remember correctly, if you do co-op, the bosses scale up. Yeah. They don't stay at where they're at.
You
so.
still got to be. Yeah, but I mean, co-op inherently is always going to make the experience easier, no matter how much they scale.
No,
because-
for sure. Definitely
Because of the nature, the nature of
You
co-op.
have you have two completely independent folks in the game at the moment, as opposed to just one.
At the end of the day, it's still one boss getting gangbanged by two different people, and
honestly, I remember
dividing the attention. So
I remember taking on Gale with Chaos, and let me tell you, sir, we were not gangbanging this dude. He was slapping us both around for a while. I was like, damn, man. But yeah, I see what you mean, though.
Yeah. Going back to the thing about time savers in general, is that, hey, it's fine. You have to use them. How would that have made a difference if, let's say, this was a difficulty level that you could have just put down to normal? Let's say Dark Souls default difficulty is hard, but you need to beat this game. So, Tony,
So would I switch it down?
to
Would I
normal.
move?
Right.
Would I move the slider? Is what you're
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. All right. So
My what I would think is that the reason I don't like that idea is because of the vision of what they had the game.
No.
And
But
because-
what he's saying is, let's say they change their vision. Let's say Miyazaki one day goes, "Hey, I'm gonna, or let's just
profitable AP. So maybe we should open up to more casual
no.
people.
Let's even do it different. Let's back it up and say, let's say Elden Ring came out and it had, difficulty slider or whatever the case may be. That's answer the question from that angle. Elden Ring came out. It has a difficulty slider. I'm already 123 hours in, 130 hours in. I'm ready to get to the end so I can just move on to to the next game, whatever the case may be. Would I drop it? And yes, the answer for me is yeah, I would.
That would the thing is that right there changes the experience, making it easier changes the experience, and it's like,
obviously.
Did you earn that? It's not earned.
The reality is, after 130
so you
hours,
didn't earn that 12,000 million souls that you had. You had so many that you were giving them away. You didn't earn that either. You didn't grind those. Isn't that the same thing, though?
No. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm
asking Dar because he was the one that grabbed them all.
I finished the game. And then I got those rooms because I want everybody to experience what I experienced. I don't want a nerf.
Wait. Now you're contradicting yourself. You said you beat the game and then you got the runes.
Exactly.
Okay, so the experience that inherently you will want for us to have is to beat the game and
Without
then go
the
all about, and then go balls out with them.
Oh no, I mean, because it's different. It's different to a slider because I can give you the souls right now, but it wouldn't change the game. Just like what Mad Dog was saying, it won't change how hard the game is.
But it does. Let's not try to cover the fact that it does help, because if you're not gonna tell me that going out at a level 80 or a level 100 is gonna be different than going a level 150 or 200, because
Oh yeah,
obviously you're going there's obviously going to have an impact. That what was thought about was, let's make this run a little quicker so that I can get to the end, obviously. So that was not the experience you had.
I would tell you that it made a difference, but I beat Malenia at 140, and me and Kale spent the last 3 days trying to beat her at level 200 plus. It made no difference. It was just as horrible as when he didn't have the souls.
It's gonna be different because it took you 3 days. You know how much it's gonna probably take me? Probably like 10, because I need to grind to that level. I need to get there. I need to get there also.
You can beat her at your level. That's the thing. You can beat her.
I'm not that level of gamer, bro. I'm not that level.
That's the difference. You can beat her at that level, and the game is set up so that you have to beat her at that level. It's not like Doom,
right?
I think the difference with the slider, though, it's a funny thing about having that slider.
They change the
most
enemy
of the
behavior
time,
and everything.
Most of the time, if there's a slider, okay, and if there's the option, I just say most of the time, if there's the option, most people will use it because it's there. And I think what differs with the type of game that we're referring to, and the reason why it doesn't have a slider, is because we can't answer for them because they don't really do that much in interviews, but and we've never spoken to them. But I would argue that FromSoft and Miyazaki and everybody realize that if we put that in there, then the experience we're trying to let them to have, they'll probably miss, or it'll end up being different. So I think that's why it's not normally there. I'm pretty sure that's why it's not there, and that's why it's just not an option, because there's an experience they're wanting you to have, and them adding that is going to take that. It would potentially take that away. So that's the reason why they don't do it. You know what I'm saying? But other games, like, again, going back to Returnal, they did want more people to play the game. They did want more people to experience it, which is why they did the safe state or whatever it is the first thing they added, and now the co-op. I was literally in the interview. They were like, "Well, we didn't want to do an easy mode, so we decided to go this particular route," which is, it simplifies the game somewhat. I don't know if difficulty scales when you were playing co-op or anything like that, but I think, yes, most people would. I think most people would answer that question, Dreamy, that they would, because most people do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Most people would.
You fucking said it. You fucking said it yourself.
I would. It wouldn't be the first time that I have gotten to something and I'm just like, okay, I'm banging my head on this.
Me neither.
And I just need to get to the. It's either I stop playing because I'm done playing, or what can I do so I can at least finish it and move on? You know what I mean? And for me, I tend to finish games. You know what I mean? I don't like leaving games halfway done. That's the reason why. And I think most people would.
Yeah. Now, this is where it all boils down to. Where the argument all boils down to. Having what basically Dark offered us was a difficulty scale. We chose to use it or not based on how we feel that the game is going, and there shouldn't be any judgment on that, just like there shouldn't be any judgment to me for a game that has difficulty settings, because that's basically that. That's basically what we have here. Once I roid myself with souls, I just gonna make the hardest areas hard, but not hardest. They're gonna go hard. The easy areas are gonna be completely trivialized because I'm just gonna be a monster.
There's shit engraves like that now for even if
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. But
I get that, but
Yeah.
the same argument has to be said that if the choice comes in not to put one in, then that doesn't change the game either, and it's also not gatekeeping. It's, you know what I mean? Gatekeeping happens most likely from the people, you know what I mean? But if the developer, in this case, we're talking about
right.
if the developer chooses to never do that, then it you know what I mean? It's like it's not they shouldn't be shunned for it. They shouldn't be pushed to do it.
100% agree.
There shouldn't be articles who highlight, most people haven't even made it to this person. You know what I'm saying? It's like all that is
those are clickbaity.
The same.
Yeah, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't have a problem with difficulty levels. Okay, this is not, if it's in the game from the get-go and it doesn't affect my experience, I'm playing this shit on easy just to gain the most XP per hour. I'm a dude that likes to optimize. I'm all about speed, performance. I need to get as strong as humanly possible to body this game as fast as I can, period. If there's no option to make it easier for me, then I have to go with the option that is the normal option that allows me to get to the game with the most XP. So the problem with Souls is that there is no option. And that's the problem, that they want the developers to add that option, which means that they're going to have to add some incentive to either play normal, easy, or hard. You get my, because I don't like a game where it's like, it's harder. Okay, there's a better weapon, there's more items, there's more souls. Is there something? Because Sekiro, they give you a whole costume, but the hardest gauntlet of Sekiro, which is to beat like 7 bosses in a row, they give you nothing. There's no trophy. There's nothing. Fuck you, bro. I'm not doing that.
You know what I won, Dark? I do want a difficulty slider on Elden Ring. You know what it should be? It should be from the way it is right now or harder than it is right now. And I want to see all those motherfucking like hardcore gamers, you know, they get all so fucking on edge, you know, at the thought of having anybody, you know, a casual person, God forbid, enjoy one of these games. I want to see them actually go try, and I'm not saying they're not gonna. A few of them are going to.
What do we get? What do we get?
Like a 2% is they're gonna go for it because they are legitimately hardcore gamers. But I feel like the vast majority of people that are saying, you know, that are making that, you know, argument, it's just posing. It's just yeah.
Listen, man, you need to understand. You need to give me the juiciest steak on a stick that you can hang, and it's like it came in and Doom is like. There is no way to get this badass costume unless you beat Ultra
normal. Doom is hard on normal. I was trying to do that run. I beat the Doom.
Doom Hunter.
No, what's called the second Doom that they released? Eternal. I beat Doom Eternal on whatever is the next level after normal. You know, I forget.
Violence?
Yes.
No. Is it Ultra? I thought it was Nightmare.
No, Nightmare is the last one, and then Ultra Nightmare is the last one. But
Nightmare,
Nightmare.
On Nightmare. I tried to do the same shit with the expansions. I could not. I have not beaten that. I have not beaten the expansion. You know, on that difficulty level. I think, and when I go back, because I do intend to go back, because I do like obviously Doom. It's a great game. I'm putting that shit on normal, and if that shit gives me a hard time, it might just have to go to easy because fuck the bullshit,
bro. But I wanted the costumes. That's the thing, bro. I don't mind if they have hard modes and very hard modes, but you need to give me a costume. It could be a costume. I don't give a fuck what it is. It's better be something that I can go, ha! Look at this. This is for being the game. Oh, you see, you got Ultra Nightmare is harder than the entirety of Sekiro. You have to beat the game without dying one time, and if you do die, you have to start from the beginning of the game. I died at the last boss, guys, and I had to start the game from the beginning all the way back to the end to get the Golden Slayer outfit.
And you did it?
Okay?
And you did it because I've
And
seen
I
it.
did it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's,
that's-
like no, you did it.
That's friggin' insane.
Do you understand? This is what I'm talking about. But that is my choice. It is my choice. It's my choice.
It's good to have choices, isn't it?
Look at it. But that choice was there from the moment the game started. Imagine if the game was on Nightmare.
Yes, indeed.
From
No,
the
I'm with you. I'm with you. I was just
Exactly.
baiting you, but I'm with you. I'm honestly with you. It's I'm not. I'm my I feel like I need to because I can think of at least two people I can think of that always grab on the wrong side of the argument to try to fucking.
It's just
That I never say they have to add a difficulty slider or whatever. My argument has always been the argument has always been, and the one where I recognize Mad Dog and I disagree and we respect each other's choices is if they add something. In my case, I say if they add the slider, and I've already beaten the game on the difficulty that intended, it has no bearing on how I beat the game because that game I'm not even thinking about it because it's in the past. And Mad Dog says, nope, there is a it does devalue the game, and it does devalue how I feel about the game. And he has this fucking rationale. I don't understand it to this day, but
I agree with Mad Dog, man. I think I'm gonna tell you why, bro. It's real simple. This is gatekeeping 101. I went through blood, sand, and tears to be. ¿Cómo yo te voy a que falta el respeto? Es pararme aquí y decir, I beat the fire giant. Dude, did you make him break his leg by falling off a boulder? Yeah. I beat him with my bare hands. You know what I'm saying? That is yours. You gotta own it, bro. That's yours.
Except I don't care. I mean, it's good that I feel good for doing it that way. But if they fucking like nerf him to where now he could be one-shotted or whatever, like. It doesn't change the way I did it, I still did it the way I did it.
We all beat Radon before his nerf. He's been nerfed, by the way, Radon. Yeah. He's been nerfed. We are all the true killers of Radon. Anybody else who killed Radon after didn't really kill Radon.
And you know what? They've been nerfing a lot of shit. And you know what?
Yeah,
why are we not up in arms about it? Why are we not? Oh, you're making the game easier. Why are we not up in arms? Because the difference is, it's not they're not putting that slider. The moment they put that slider, forget it. Like there's gonna be riots in the streets, and they're gonna be protests, and they're gonna be probably like capital riots again. It's just gonna go insane.
I think the difference is more that's a balancing thing that they're trying to do. I guess.
Hey, a difficulty slider is balancing for the people that can't play the game at your level.
No, I get it. But you see the difference, right? One is imposed and the other's an option. So that's the difference. You know what I mean? And again, if there's an option, most people are going to go with the option.
No. If Elden Ring 2, when it comes out, has a difficulty slider, forget it. It's gonna flip people's shit. I guarantee you 100%. Like, please, someone mark this down so that we can reference it back.
I'm sure.
I'm gonna be dead ass. If they add a difficulty slider, the first thing I'm gonna look up: how many rooms does easy give me? The same as normal or hard. Boom, bang, easy. I'm not dumb. You gave me the option. I'm gonna play it on easy. But then it's gonna be like, oh, but if you want this costume, you gotta play it on hard. It's like, bro, I beat Final Fantasy VII Remake on easy. My cousin did it on hard, right? From the get-go. I'm like, that's how he wants to play it. That's his option. I played on easy. I bodied the game. Now I gotta beat it on hard. I want the platinum. You need to body the game on hard. I bodied the game on hard. It made no difference to me.
Yeah.
It just made it easy for me. So this is why I don't have a problem if it's there from the get-go. But if you dare add a slider after the game's been out 2 months or a week or a month or whatever it may be, and I've already invested my soul, dude, there's people who have carved up pieces of flesh off of a Souls boss.
It shouldn't matter because you did it. It shouldn't it's in the past, bro. It's in the past. You already did it. It should not matter.
No.
It should not matter. Again, we're going into the same argument.
We're at a stalemate,
argument
apparently.
of it. I mean, I respect the fact that they don't, and that's what they've chosen to do, and that's the flag that we're all grabbing on. But if it was, if something like that was to happen, I'm saying I'm gonna sleep soundly. I'm gonna have no issues at all. I would have played the game that I played, because at the end of the day, if there's something that can be proven, is that this game could be a lot. It could be too much at some point. At some point, it could be enough to where you're like, okay, I either do this or I'm never gonna see the end because I'm just not gonna care. So the choice is yours. Just like a difficulty setting.
Fair enough.
Listen, it just
like a difficulty setting.
The souls that I gave, Brandon, and I gave you, Dream, that's not supposed to be like that. Again, that's not supposed to be like that. It's a system in the game that allows for duping to happen, and so it's there. I'm gonna use it
just as quickly. Get patched out. So yeah.
Exactly. They could be like, Stackawo, did you have fun? Did you guys have fun? You had a good time? Oh, yeah. Dream, remember that slider? Yeah, we're putting that bitch all the way to very hard. Radamna does one shots for every swing.
For every swing.
Jesus. This should go both
honestly,
ways.
I think I got to. I think I beat Radon after the patch because I saw you guys. I saw Dreamy play him, and it only took me 5 tries. And I was like, I think I got him after the patch.
They nerfed my weapon, dude. And Moonveil. Yeah, you saw by another head. They're like, the Moonveil made it easy. Oh, the Mimic tier, that made it easy. Oh, Miyazaki's not about the easy. It's never gonna be easy. It's only gonna be hard.
He's like, what can I do to torture more?
Dude, yes. It's like this dude is the devil incarnate, bro. He doesn't care about your feelings of easy. 10 years, people have prophesied that Miyazaki would have some sort of heart. He has no heart, dude. I would enjoy if he made things easy. He took my weapon, my Moonveil, which did a lot of stun to the bosses. It was strong. He's like, who said you could have easy? And he destroyed the posture damage of the weapon. Now the bosses laugh in my face as they one-shot me. It's like, fantastic. Thank you, Miyazaki. Thank you. That's great. So we're just going to keep going to the next thing. Eventually he's going to destroy the game. No weapon's going to... I hope you enjoy your golden halberd right now, Dream, by the way. I hope you enjoy it.
Yes.
It's coming for your ass. It's coming. Like, the Jaws theme is in the back.
Let me tell you, I had... and I mentioned it off air. I've had my experience where the game was just too much for me. Sekiro was that. Sekiro, I could not get like. I think Mad Dog was saying like, "What boss are you in?" And I was like, "Boss? I haven't encountered a boss yet, dude. I'm getting my ass handed by this people. I don't grasp the parry system. This fighting system makes no sense. I love the fact that it's a Souls game of its type, but a little change. But I'm not getting, and I had to give up, and I did. Yeah, I did. I was like, nope. I'm just not gonna do it.
There's certain ones I had to do the same thing. It just took me a while to get to that. But I still at some point I was like, I'm done hitting my head against this. Because that one is definitely in a league of its own.
Yeah,
dude. Gran Turismo, for example, I can't play that on hard mode. Fuck out of here, dude. Bro is just breaking and putting. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna do it. Okay, racing games.
That's okay, bro. That's all right, because if you're having difficulty with Gran Turismo, you know what you could do. If you're having a hard time getting the best cars for Gran Turismo, you can just open your wallet and give $40 to Sony, and they'll give you a car. They'll give you the best car in the game, and that way you can win the races. It's as easy as that. It's a time saver, bro.
Get out of here.
It is a time saver.
The thing is that there are certain games that I can't do. You just can't do on hard mode, bro. It's just I have games where I cannot do it on hard mode.
That's the person that beat Doom on what's it called?
Ultra Nightmare.
Ultra Nightmare. Okay, yeah, which is with permadeath. So with permadeath.
Yes. I also did the DLC, the second DLC, not the first one. The first one was too.
Okay, well now you deserve a fuck you. Even though I love you with all my heart, but fuck you.
I love you too, man. Come on, man. Give me a hug, bro.
Give me a hug.
Oh my god.
Right,
with that, guys, that will take us to the end of an awesome episode 307 of the Mouthfuls Podcast. As always, if you haven't already, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. And of course, please like, subscribe, share the podcast with everyone. Dark, can you tell everybody where they can find you online?
Oh, you can find me on my Twitter, on my Twitch, on my YouTube, on the Dark_Necromancer. For Twitter, however, it is Dark Neuromancer. Unfortunately, somebody took the C. I gotta patent that shit. I definitely gotta lost somebody taking my name.
Just reach out to them and buy it. Make them an offer.
How do you do this, bro? You guys are the businessmen here. Okay,
so this simple. So you tell them, look, I'm Dark Necromancer. If you want to keep your legs unbroken, you're gonna need to hand me your Twitter handle.
This is the same person that just talked about difficulty sliders. Did you see how he would react to that? Oh, they just break their legs, man. Just break their legs. Come on, dream.
Wow.
But yes, that is where I can be found on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Yeah, definitely can be found there. Hopefully you guys pass by.
Yeah, and then check him out on you mentioned Twitch. It's the same thing. Check out his fights. It's good shit. It's good shit.
Oh, they're awesome. Yeah. The montages are phenomenal. He never runs out of montages. He says so many montages.
It's really good. Mr. David Santos, take us home.
I need you guys to tune in and watch Halo and let me know if it's good or not. I haven't decided yet.
You're still on the fence?
I still don't know what I'm saying. It's
only one episode, right?
Yes.
It's only one episode.
It's only one episode. You have Paramount.
I do.
You have Paramount.
Angry Joe said the second episode is disgusting. Disgusting.
I don't. Okay, wait, Angry Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Angry Joe's criticisms. Yeah, Angry Joe's criticisms are kind of dumb sometimes, but that second episode.
Before, I'm interested in here. I'm always interested because you always find you can distinguish between the good and the bad, and in a way that is fair to the actors, to the directors, to the writers, to the performers. So I need to hear your take on it, and also from someone that is this passionate. Like, about the franchise because you're not gonna care that Master Chief looks and sound the way it does. So
Yeah, I mean, I am familiar with his like if we were at or we're watching E3 or something like that, and let's say Microsoft has a trailer come up, they didn't say what it is, and you hear the voice, I'm like, oh, that's Master Chief. Like
That's
I
Master
can
Chief.
recognize him because I have heard him. But yeah, I haven't played any of the Halo 3 was the only one I played. But
Halo
yeah, I
3.
mean, I will probably try it.
Maybe
just
it's not
to-
a long
yeah.
episode. I think it's like one of those 30-45 minute ones.
Oh,
like
okay.
yeah.
That's doable.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, guys, we'll see you next week.
Made it.